2025 is the end of some of the most iconic cars we've ever seen. While the world races toward electric everything, a different race of cars is coming to an end. Let's break down 8 legendary cars we're losing in 2025, and why some of them might never come back. 1. Bugatti Chiron. The Bugatti Chiron didn't just push the limits, it redefined them, with a quad turbocharged 8.0-liter U16 engine pumping out an unbelievable 1,479 horsepower. It was more spaceship than supercar. 0 to 60, just 2.3 seconds. Top speed, electronically limited but capable of braking 260 miles per hour. And now, it's gone. After years of headlining car shows, shattering records, and living rent-free in the dreams of anyone who's ever seen one, Bugatti has announced that 2024 is the Chiron's final production year. The replacement? A hybrid V16 beast called the Tourbillon. Futuristic, sure, but without the heart-pounding absurdity of the W16. The Chiron was the last gasp of Bugatti's insane engine philosophy. No EV whine, no hybrid whispers, just raw 4-digit combustion fury. Here's the thing, the W16 engine debuted all the way back in the 2005 Veyron. That's nearly 2 decades of engineering madness ending here. Even if you never saw one in person, you felt its impact. It's the kind of car that didn't need to exist, but thank the automotive gods that it did. 2. Chrysler 300. Let's be honest, the Chrysler 300 was never subtle, and that was the point. With a long, wide body, bold styling, and an available 5.7-liter Hemi V8, this car looked like it belonged in a rap video, a mob movie, or parked outside a Vegas casino at 3 a.m. It was old-school American swagger in sedan form. First launched in 2005, the 300 made luxury and muscle collide in a way few cars ever have. It wasn't trying to be German or refined. It was all about attitude, and in a world increasingly chasing clean, quiet, and minimalist, the 300 stood out like a sore thumb or a brass knuckle. 2024 marks its final year in production, along with the Charger and Challenger. Together, these 3 cars defined modern American muscle. The Charger will technically return in 2025, but with an electric heart. The 300, it's just gone. For 2 decades, this car gave people an affordable way to feel like a boss. It didn't care about cornering precision or efficiency ratings. It was loud, heavy, unapologetic, and for many, unforgettable. 3. Nissan GT-R. Godzilla's final roar in the US, the R35 GT-R is the kind of car that changed the rules. When it landed in 2007, it humiliated supercars that cost twice as much. Ferrari drivers flinched, Porsche fans got defensive, and a legend was reborn. Dubbed Godzilla for good reason, the GT-R was Japan's answer to the world's best, and it didn't hold back. By its final year in 2024, the Nismo trim was producing 600 horsepower from a twin turbocharged 3.8-liter V6, combined with one of the most advanced all-wheel drive systems ever put in a street car. But after 17 years of relentless refinement, the GT-R is finally leaving US soil. While other markets might get a little more time, American fans are being cut off. Why? Regulations, emissions, and changing priorities. Nissan has hinted that a new GT-R could return as an EV. But let's be honest, it won't be the same. It's the end of an era where a Japanese giant dared to take on the world and won. The GT-R wasn't just fast, it was surgical, precise, ruthless, and now it's gone. 4. Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Ferrari soul in a sedan body. You want passion? You want performance? The Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio delivered both with a vengeance. Born with Italian blood and a Ferrari-influenced heart, this sedan wasn't just pretty, it was lethal. Under the hood, a 505 horsepower twin-turbo 2.9-liter V6 co-developed with Ferrari engineers. Rear-wheel drive, near-perfect 50-50 weight balance, and styling that made German sedans look like rental cars. The Giulia didn't just show up, it showed off, and it walked the walk. With a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds, the Quadrifoglio was a direct threat to the BMW M3, Mercedes AMG C63, and even the Cadillac ATS V. But where it truly excelled was feel. This was a driver's car, raw, responsive, emotional. Now, as Alfa Romeo shifts toward electrification, the Giulia Quadrifoglio is being phased out in the US. Its final production run ended in June 2024. 5. Maserati Ghibli Ultima. The Maserati Ghibli was the kind of car that made you fall in love until it stranded you on the side of the road. But even with its reputation for reliability that could generously be called inconsistent, the Ghibli always had something special: character. Its final form, the Ghibli 334 Ultima, was a farewell letter written in leather, carbon fiber, and twin-turbo V8 Fury. Only 103 units were made. That's not just rare, that's supercar rare. And under the hood, a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8 pumping out 580 horsepower and 538 pound-feet of torque. It wasn't just fast, it was theatrical. Every downshift popped, every launch felt like a gamble. But that's what made it exciting. The Ghibli never played by German rules. It didn't care about perfect panel gaps or bulletproof tech. It cared about drama, about presence, about arriving in a cloud of sound and attitude. But in 2024, the curtain closed. Maserati is moving on to electric platforms, which means this is likely the last gas-powered Maserati sedan we'll ever see. And for all its flaws, the Ghibli was bold enough to be different. Sometimes that's better than perfect. 6. Jaguar F-Type. The Jaguar F-Type wasn't built for everyone. It was built for people who wanted to feel something behind the wheel. And in its final fire-breathing form, it delivered that feeling with a 5.0-liter supercharged V8, roaring at full tilt, sending 575 horsepower to the rear wheels. This was a car that snarled when you started it, that kicked sideways if you breathed on the throttle too hard, and that looked like it belonged in a Bond chase scene even when parked. Whether you chose the coupe or the convertible, the F-Type wore its British muscle suit proudly, tail flicking, tires screeching, and never apologizing for its thirst. Sure, it wasn't the sharpest on the track, and yes, interior tech lagged behind the competition, but nobody cared. This was a car that made driving fun again, that made commutes feel like sprints, and gas station stops feel like photo ops. Now, Jaguar has pulled the plug. The final F-Type rolled off the line in mid-2024, and as the brand pivots hard toward electric vehicles, it may never build something this ferocious again. We lost the soul of Jaguar. 7. Dodge Charger, America's last V8 muscle sedan. The Dodge Charger was never about subtlety. It was the four-door muscle car that made no apologies, no compromises, and no effort to blend in. Whether you were in a Scat Pack pushing 485 horsepower or a Hellcat Redeye with over 700, the Charger made sure everyone on the block heard you leave. Since its rebirth in the mid-2000s, the Charger became an unlikely icon, a muscle car dressed as a family sedan. It didn't care if you were going to school drop-off or a drag strip, it was always ready to make a scene. But in 2024, production stops. Dodge says the new Charger, launching in 2025, will be an EV. They're also teasing a gas-powered variant, but the iconic Hemi V8, it's done. That means this isn't just the end of a car, it's the end of a culture, of burnouts in grocery store parking lots, of bellowing cold starts at 6 a.m., of unapologetically American horsepower. Love it or hate it, the Charger was ours. Loud, brash, and uniquely American. And now, that chapter is closed. 8. Lamborghini Huracan, the Final V10 Bull. The Lamborghini Huracan has been raging since 2013. With its naturally aspirated 5.2-liter V10, it wasn't just powerful, it was emotional. No turbos, no hybrid assist, just a howling engine that redlined at over 8,000 RPM and screamed like a banshee in a thunderstorm. By its final year in 2024, the Huracan Technica was pushing 631 horsepower and hitting 60 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds. But those numbers only tell part of the story. The real magic was the experience, the sharp steering, the aggressive downshifts, the absolute drama of driving one. And now, it's over. Lamborghini is retiring the Huracan along with the V10 engine itself. The replacement, codenamed Temerario, will use a twin-turbo V8 hybrid. It'll be faster, sure, more efficient of course, but will it have the same soul? Let's be real, probably not. The Huracan wasn't perfect. It was loud, brash, and sometimes terrifying, but it was alive. It made every drive feel like a special event, and with the R8 already gone, this was the last true V10 exotic on sale. We're not just losing a Lamborghini, we're losing the last soundtrack of a dying breed. So here's the question: if you could take one of these for one final drive, which one would it be? Let us know, and maybe, just maybe, enjoy the sound of a roaring engine while you still can.